The Grand Illusion is a French film that was made in 1937. The director of the film, Jean Renoir, was looking backward to World War I in order to look forward to a future that he hoped would occur in Europe. Up until World War I, it had made sense to most Europeans to believe that their society was a superior society and that the way it was organized was the best way in which a society could function. World War I itself, however, which resulted in enormous carnage and tremendous destruction, appeared to many after it was concluded to have been fought for little or no reason. In the film, Renoir looks at the changes that he thinks happened after World War I and the crisis of European civilization that ensued. Renoir's film is about the common brotherhood of mankind. And because it's about this sort of community of man, Renoir had only one place that he could actually show the brotherhood in a film about war. He had to find the one place in war where people of different nationalities came together. In this case, a prisoner of war camp. Renoir is especially interested in how World War I reflected a kind of class conflict. There are three groups of soldiers that we meet in the prisoner of war camp, some of whom are aristocrats, some of whom represent the middle class, and some of whom represent the common man. In this film, Renoir thinks it's important to show us the death of the aristocracy, or the conclusion of the aristocracy as a meaningful class in the world. By discovering commonality of class in the prisoner of war camp, the characters in Renoir's film see themselves again not so much as individuals nor so much as citizens of a particular society, but as members of a common group that shares something more important or deeper than nationality or ideology. As you watch the film, pay close attention to the development of friendships among people of different nationalities as they meet in the prisoner of war camp. But it's especially important for you to pay attention to the relationship between the aristocrats in the film, one German and one French. The French prisoners, about midway through the film, are transferred from one prison camp to another place. This is a fortress called Winterbourne, which has the reputation of being a fortress so impregnable and so powerful that no one can escape from it. Once in the fortress, however, the French prisoners again think about their responsibility to escape and come up with a plan. But that plan requires someone to be a decoy to capture people's attention. It turns out that the aristocratic Frenchman decides to become the decoy and is killed in this scene by the aristocratic German head of the fortress. As you watch the scene, you should become aware of the symbolic power of what happens. The fortress represents Europe in its age of crisis. The aristocrats represent the upper classes, which had caused the war in the first place, but had also generated a European culture that was a kind of fortress that kept members of the middle class and the lower class from their freedom. The crucial moment in the scene, building upon these symbols, takes place when von Rauffenstein, who is the leader of the camp, is forced, even against his will, to have to shoot Boieldieu, the French aristocrat, who also finds himself in the same situation. It's the death of a French aristocrat at the hands of a German aristocrat who doesn't really want to kill him that alerts us to one of the most powerful themes in the play, the one we've referred to before. If the two other characters are allowed to escape and can make their way back to freedom, they will have discovered something new about the common brotherhood of man and may find a way to move past earlier wars or change in awareness of what a better kind of society might be. Remember, the film was made in 1937. Hitler had already risen to power in Europe. His attitudes about Jews had become prevalent, and there was a growing awareness, which Renoir himself even shared, that another world war was a distinct possibility. Renoir's film therefore becomes a kind of warning that we may face again the same kind of war we faced before, unless we come to a deeper understanding of who human beings truly are and how they ought to be related to each other and to see themselves as related to each other, rather than simply as enemies or people of different nationalities, people whose differences are more important finally than their similarities. Enjoy the film.